Morning, all. All right, so I want to start off today talking about the New Jersey Devils. The Devils this past season, 49-point improvement over the year before. Lindy Ruff went from Fire Lindy to Sorry Lindy. And really, this team in the offseason so far has done a good job. Are they done? Question mark that I have is whether or not they're done. I think probably yes. Although, if they could add a goaltender, would they? And that's a question mark, and maybe they're happy with Vanacek and Schmid. Maybe that's your tandem start the season. Maybe they try to make another move, right? So, when we look at this forward group is ridiculously talented. So, your top nine in any order. On the left side, you have Bratt, Meyer, and Palat. That's ridiculous. The fact they've got Jesper Bratt, Timo Meyer, Andre Palat, that's really solid. Down the middle, you've got Jack Hughes, Nico Hischier, and Eric Howla. Again, really solid three there. And then on the right side, you have Toffoli, Mercer, and probably Holtz, right? You'd think that Holtz will get that chance to play that third line spot. If not, maybe Bastian gets third line minutes, but there are options. And again, we don't know that they're necessarily done at this stage, right? So they were fourth in goals for this past season. They were ninth in goals against. I think there's room here to actually get better. At the very least, stay in that same spot. So if we make the argument that Jack Hughes had a career year, and it's very early in his career, and I'm not saying that he did, but if you want to make the argument of, well, I don't know if he's going to get 99 points again, the good news is adding Tyler Toffoli will add at least 20 to 25 goals, maybe 30, maybe more, because you're going to have Toffoli playing with Hughes and Bratt in all likelihood, maybe with Meyer, and this is just going to be a very hard team to stop defensively. This is going to be a team that teams just have a hard time figuring out what they're going to do. The weird thing is, the year before, they were 19th in goals for and 29th in goals against. There really wasn't any indication of what was to come. So this is why when people ask, do you think team, insert name a team here is going to be in the playoffs in the next 5 years, I always answer with, they can be. Because, yes, in a 5-year period, any team can absolutely get better and get into the playoffs. What's interesting with this team, and I wanted to talk about in this video as well, so their points percentage this year was .683. The years they won the Stanley Cup, it was actually lower than that. .659 in 2003, .628 in 2000, and .542 in 1995 when they won their first Stanley Cup. So are they a contender? Yes. I don't think they're that far off. I think there's going to be at least some improvement, I think, offensively. But defensively, this team's going to be pretty good, too. So let's go round out the depth here up front. You've got Nolan Foote. You've got Justin Dowling, who's been added. He's a depth player. He'll play in Utica. You've got McLeod up front. They've added Tierney. Tierney probably ends up being the 13th forward. Chris Cuolo. Both Chris Cuolo and Tierney expiring contracts next summer. And Bowers has been added. Bowers has bounced around from organization to organization. Does he find a home with the Devils? Does he end up playing in a couple of games with them at the NHL level? We'll see. And then on the right side, you have Lazar, who was, I think, a solid pickup from Vancouver. And Tyce Thompson is here as well. He's going to try to push his way into a roster spot this fall. So again, I'm really impressed with the depth up front for the New Jersey Devils. I think this team is going to be really hard to stop. The blue line's going to be interesting for one reason. Luke Hughes. Luke Hughes, the number 4 pick in 2021, made his debut with the team late in the season. And then during the playoffs, I didn't feel like he got as much of an opportunity as I would have liked. I think Luke Hughes is going to be dynamic for them. And if he's paired with Dougie Hamilton, who's coming off of a season where he had 22 goals, 52 assists, 74 points, that's going to be quite the duo to stop, whether they're together or separated. Then you got Siegenthaler. Siegenthaler, very good defensive defenseman. Marino, solid pickup for them from Pittsburgh. Ball, I thought got better as the season went along. We'll see if that progression continues into this season. And they've added Colin Miller on the blue line. Miller's on an expiring contract. I think Miller's kind of a stopgap in case Nemitz needs more time. So Nemitz, the number 2 pick in 2022, with the defense they have here, including Brendan Smith, who's also on an expiring contract, Nemitz doesn't have to make the team. He doesn't have to play a really prominent role as of yet. And I've always appreciated having that buffer so that the young players don't have to jump into the lineup and perform right away. They have Misiul there. They also have Hataka. Hataka, of course, they picked up from San Jose. They have Tyler Wotherspoon. Wotherspoon also on an expiring contract. So this New Jersey team, I like the blue line. I think if Luke Hughes hits, if Nemitz comes in, has a really good training camp, fights his way into the top 6, this could be one of the best blue lines in the National Hockey League, along with what might be one of the best top 6s in the NHL. You look at Hischier, the number 1 pick in 2017, 31 goals, 49 assists, 80 points. So in the event that Patrice Bergeron does retire and this was his final season, does Hischier then become one of the favorites to end up winning Selkies? Could it be him and Barkov that are fighting it out? Maybe with Kopitar still in the mix as well. That could happen. Hischier's really come into his own, and really that 1-2 spot down the middle, it's not McDavid and Draisaitl. However, it's a pretty dynamic 1-2 punch down the middle. And again, with Hischier, you can't just grade him on points. There's the defensive aspect that he's strong in as well. And then there's the goaltending, and it might be the one question mark I have. So Vanacek coming off a season where he had 9/11 save percentage, had really good stretches, had mediocre stretches as well. So it's about that consistency, which can be frustrating with goaltenders. I've talked about that many times over. But Akira Schmid looked like the real deal, right? 922 save percentage during the regular season. Had a good run during the postseason as well. And even though it didn't end the way that they would have wanted it to, I wouldn't put that on Schmid. I don't think the goaltending is the reason they didn't go further in the playoffs. Shalgren's been added for some depth and a veteran presence in the net as the number 3 guy. Potentially number 3 guy anyways in Utica because Nico Dawes is there as well. Dawes and Schmid, I think, eventually become the tandem. Of course, Blackwell has exited the team. But Mackenzie Blackwell, they weren't really interested in holding on to, and San Jose picked him up, and so we'll see how things go for him with the Sharks. But New Jersey is a contender, and now the real trick is, so now they've gone from, this rebuild that seemed to take forever into a position where this is a contending team. This team legitimately could win a Stanley Cup, but it's about hitting their stride at the right points, getting hot at the right time, and that can be the tricky part. But with Luke Hughes, Nemitz, Hischier, Hughes, Mercer as well. Dawson Mercer, a really solid talent who I think his points totals are going to go up. And really, if Holtz, who was a number 7 pick in 2020, if he could come in and put up, say, 15 to 20 goals, and you're getting, say, 15 to 20 from Palat, probably about 15 from Haula, you have yourself potentially a really excellent third line, if that is how it works out. This is a team that should roll 3 scoring lines and a pretty strong 4th line as well, and should have one of the better top 4s in the NHL with defense. Again, will the goaltending hold up? And let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. It is going to be, I think, an exciting season. If this ends up being their team, I think they are in contention for the top spot in the division. Absolutely. But are they done? So the question I have for New Jersey fans is, do you believe that your team is done at this point? And now it's about waiting until October to see how this all pans out, or is there other moves to be made? Let me know your thoughts. Don't forget to hit like and subscribe if you're browsing your way through. You just happened upon this video. Thank you guys so much for watching, for all your support. I will talk to you again soon.